Again, my name is and I'm 24 years old, and I have multiple sclerosis, and I'm here today to share my experiences with having MS, and also I'm going to be talking about Tysabri, because I have been taking that for a few months now. And I'd really like to thank Biogen IDEC for sponsoring me here today. And I really hope I can be helpful, and I hope I can answer any questions that you may have. As I get started, I just would like to say that after having MS for almost 8 years, I've come to realize that there's one principle that really keeps me going, and that is staying positive. And it's really easy to get negative when you have MS. And believe me, over the last 8 years, I've had many negative days. But I try really hard to turn my negative situations into positive situations. For instance, I have a very weak left leg, and if any of you suffer from stiffness or pain in your legs, you can understand. But I trip a lot, and I fall, and I have scars on my legs to prove it, and I try to turn that negative into a positive by saying that, well, everybody's tripped. It's something where if someone was walking down the street and they tripped, I wouldn't automatically assume that they have MS or they have an autoimmune disease. So I really try to turn that negative into a positive by thinking of it that way. And another negative that I suffer from is that people call me stupid a lot. They say that I'm really stupid and I'm a dumb blonde and I'm not smart, and that really gets me down. It started a lot in high school, and in high school is when my MS started. So little did I know that I was suffering from cognitive issues in high school. But I was told that I was stupid because I couldn't understand things as easily as everyone else. But I try to turn that negative into a positive by saying that the people who really care about me the most, they never call me stupid. They understand my cognitive problems and they don't think I'm stupid. So it's like, well, as long as the people who care about me the most know that, that's all that really matters. But I really make it a point to find the positive aspects of everything, and the most important thing for me is to keep myself surrounded by positive people, because negative people tend to bring me down, and I have enough to deal with, and so I try to avoid that as much as I can. And I think the reason why staying positive is so important in my life is because when I'm positive, I can function better. Sorry, the mic is too far away. When I'm positive, I can function better. I wake up in the morning and I exercise on my elliptical, and I take a shower, and I'll do my hair and put my makeup on and get ready to leave the house, and I just feel better about myself, and I smile a lot. I always have. I've always been a pretty happy person, so I try to smile as much as I can, and I think that smiling is contagious. And usually when I'm giving off positive energy, I'll get positive energy in return. So when I'm positive, I can just function better. On the other hand, when I'm negative, and there are days where I'm very negative, I can't function. Like I said, my legs get really stiff. I suffer from fatigue, so I'll be too tired to exercise. So I don't exercise, and then I don't eat healthy, and then I don't drink enough water, and then I feel fat, and then I feel ugly, and then I don't want to leave my bedroom, and it just gets worse and worse. So I try to avoid that at all costs. And I really try to turn all my negatives into positives. And if there's a day where I am too tired or I'm in pain or I really don't feel like going out, then I don't. I stay home and I curl up on the couch and watch a good funny movie. And that's okay. I love doing that too, so that's fine. But my family is really what keeps me going. I have very understanding parents. And I have an older brother, Joel, who is really helpful. And I have a boyfriend, Anthony, who we've been together for almost 8 years, so he's been there for me as well. And in our relationship, he said that it's easier for him to handle the fact that I have MS because I'm so positive. He said that if I were negative and if I complained about having MS every day, it would be a lot harder in our relationship. But I'm really positive and I don't let it bring me down, and so it's easier in our relationship. And I feel very fortunate because I have a very supportive family. I have a big Italian family on my mom's side, my dad's side is Polish, and everybody is very supportive, so I'm really lucky. But I wanted to briefly talk about how I got MS because I was really young when I got my diagnosis. I was 16 years old, and my 17-year-old cousin Adam was killed in a car accident. And you can imagine how devastating that was for my whole family. And I was actually in Chicago at the time at a summer program. And so I had to fly home for his funeral. And not only is it just devastating alone, but he was so close to my age that it scared the life out of me. I thought, oh my gosh, that could have been me. He wasn't drunk, it was just an accident, and he was gone in just a second, and it really scared me. And after he passed away, I started noticing that I was tripping a lot. I was in high school, and I couldn't play sports anymore. And I think this is really funny, though, because I wasn't very good at sports. So the team didn't really miss me all that much. But it was upsetting that I couldn't play. So I couldn't play sports anymore. But that wasn't the end of the world. But the hard part for me in high school was that my hair started falling out, and I had cysts on my face, and my body was doing things that I've never had before, and my emotions were out of control, and they were so annoying that I even annoyed myself. I was like, oh my gosh, I could not stop crying, and I knew there was a problem, but I didn't know what it was, and it was really upsetting, and people were calling me stupid in high school, and it got to the point where I was extremely depressed. And I knew there was a problem, but it was really upsetting because I didn't know what it was. So finally, my parents and I decided to go see a doctor. And I went to an orthopedic surgeon at first because I thought it was my leg, because I kept tripping and falling. And I actually went to 2 orthopedic surgeons, and they couldn't find anything. But one sent me to a neurologist who took an MRI and a spinal tap. And that's how I got my diagnosis. And I actually got my diagnosis 5 days before I graduated from high school. And I had to sing the national anthem by myself and deliver a speech at my high school graduation. And it definitely was not easy. And I didn't tell anybody right away because it was so overwhelming having all of that happen at once. I didn't tell anybody right away. But I thought that I had brain cancer. So getting an MS diagnosis was like, okay, well, that's not fatal. I can continue. Just tell me. I told my doctor after crying for a long, long time. I said, okay, what do I do now? Okay, so I know there's a problem. It's a legitimate thing. What do I do now? And I first had to accept the fact that I had MS. And when I did eventually tell my family and friends that I had MS, I was really positive about it. I told them, I've already had this for 2 years. I really think I'm going to be okay. Don't worry about it. And I think it was easier for them to handle. So that's how I handled telling everyone that I had MS.